More than 2 months after Hurricanes Irma and Maria struck Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, half of the people there, American citizens all, still have no electricity. Many are struggling to get clean drinking water, and more than 100,000 people have left Puerto Rico alone. This is not acceptable, and we are here today to tell the people of Puerto Rico and tell the people of the Virgin Islands that they are not forgotten, they are not alone, and that we intend to do everything possible to rebuild those beautiful islands. While being full American citizens, they have no United States senators here to represent them, and they do not have full voting members in the U.S. House. Their representatives do a great job trying to represent them, but they don't have a vote. And when presidential elections come, they have no power in determining who the next president will be. That is why we are here today, to demand that the Congress and the White House stand up and do the right thing for the people of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. And it will not be good enough to simply go back to the status quo, a status quo which has left both islands in poverty and severe underdevelopment. This bill is comprehensive, and it addresses the immediate crises facing the islands, but we don't stop there. It makes no sense to simply put things back the way they were, which is why our bill allows the islands to build back stronger. For example, it is absolutely without any sense at all to rebuild Puerto Rico's antiquated, centralized, and inefficient electric grid that was dependent on expensive and dirty imported fossil fuel. Before the storms, Puerto Rico only had 2% of its electricity coming from sustainable energy. Remember, this is La Isla del Sol, the island of the sun. 2% electricity from sustainable energy is absurd. Virgin Islands have done somewhat better, but nowhere near where they could be going. Beyond rebuilding damaged facilities, our bill makes a major proactive investment in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands infrastructure. Our bill also understands that if those islands are going to grow into the future, they need high-quality education. You can't close schools down and throw thousands of teachers off their jobs. This legislation deals with the $74.8 billion debt. And while we don't go into specifics, we are clear that the debt issue has got to be resolved for the people of Puerto Rico, half of whom live in poverty, not for the vulture funds on Wall Street. Let me also say that our bill addresses inequities in federal law that have allowed the territories to fall behind in almost every measurable social and economic area. Puerto Rico's poverty rate is 46%, unacceptable. Puerto Rico's unemployment rate was more than twice the national average, and that was before the storms devastated their economy. Their healthcare statistics are abysmal, and their high school graduation and college rates are also unacceptable. So what we are here to say is that we will stand with the American citizens of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. We will rebuild those islands better than before the disasters devastated them. Let me now